The old house on Willow Street had always been a source of curiosity and dread in the small town of Ravenwood. Its windows were shattered, and the once white paint had faded to a sickly grey. Ivy had crept up the walls, claiming the house as its own. No one could remember the last time anyone had lived there. It was rumored that the house was cursed. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about strange sounds coming from within, and eerie lights that flickered in the dead of night. But no one had ever dared to step foot inside. That is until Jenny, a young woman with an insatiable curiosity, arrived in town. Jenny had always been drawn to the macabre, and the decrepit house on Willow Street was like a siren's call to her. She couldn't resist the urge to explore its secrets. Armed with a flashlight, a notebook, and a sense of adventure, she arrived at the house one chilly autumn evening. The front door creaked open with a spine-tingling groan, as if the house itself were protesting her intrusion. Jenny stepped inside, her heart pounding. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. She shone her flashlight around, revealing a grand staircase that led to the upper floors. As Jenny ascended the stairs, she could hear the faint whispers of voices, too indistinct to make out. Goosebumps prickled her skin as she continued her ascent. At the top of the stairs, she found herself in a hallway lined with doors, each one slightly ajar. Choosing one at random, Jenny pushed it open and entered a room frozen in time. The walls were covered in faded wallpaper, and a canopy bed dominated the center of the room. Dust-covered dolls sat on a shelf, their glassy eyes staring blankly ahead. It was a child's room, but it felt like a tomb. Jenny's flashlight flickered, and she cursed herself for not bringing spare batteries. She turned to leave, but froze when she heard a child's laughter echoing through the room. She shone her dimming light around, but there was no one there. Panic welled up inside her as the laughter grew louder, echoing in her ears. She stumbled out of the room and slammed the door shut behind her. Determined to uncover the truth, Jenny continued her exploration of the house. She ventured into a room filled with dusty books and moth-eaten furniture. As she scanned the titles, one caught her eye, The Secrets of Willow Street House. She grabbed the book and began to leaf through its brittle pages. The book contained the history of the house. It had been built in the 1800s by a wealthy family, the Whitfields, who were known for their eccentricities. They had held extravagant parties and gatherings, but the book hinted at a darker side to their lives. It spoke of a hidden room in the basement, a room where they conducted forbidden rituals. Driven by a morbid fascination, Jenny headed for the basement. The stairs creaked under her weight, and the air grew colder with each step. When she reached the bottom, she found herself in a dimly lit chamber. The walls were covered in symbols she couldn't decipher, and a pentagram had been etched into the floor. As Jenny's flashlight swept across the room, it illuminated a painting on the wall. It depicted a family, the Whitfields, gathered around a table, their faces contorted in anguish. At the center of the table was a grotesque figure, half human, half beast. Its eyes seemed to follow her, and she felt a malevolent presence in the room. Suddenly, the door at the top of the stairs slammed shut, plunging Jenny into darkness. Panic surged through her veins as she fumbled for her flashlight, desperately trying to get it working again. When the light finally pierced the darkness, she gasped in horror. The painting on the wall had changed. The grotesque figure had come to life, its eyes glowing with malevolence. It stepped out of the painting, its monstrous form towering over her. Jenny tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. The creature reached out a clawed hand, its touch icy and paralyzing. Jenny felt herself being lifted off the ground, her vision fading as darkness consumed her. Days later, the townsfolk grew concerned when Jenny had not returned. They organized a search party and ventured to the old house on Willow Street. The front door stood ajar, and inside, they found Jenny's flashlight, still flickering weakly. But there was no sign of her. The house on Willow Street retained its enigmatic aura, and the townsfolk, now more than ever, believed it to be cursed. No one would dare to enter again, and the house, with its secrets and malevolent presence, would remain forgotten, except in the darkest of nightmares.